Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of old sheet music. I am your host, Nicholas Carroll. Tonight I am looking at the next sheet in my big collection here. This is the one that I talked a little bit about the other day regarding William Clementine Thompson, and he is the person who also wrote Softly and Tenderly Jesus is Calling. And I discussed how he had a brief secular music career before he started writing hymns. This is a good example of it. This is called John Smith's Waltz. And yes, we are talking about John Smith from Jamestown, the tobacco farmer. And yes, it says respectfully dedicated to John Smith of the United States of America, composed by Lamartine. So here he's only going by his middle name this time. On the other one, it was W. Lamartine, as if that was his last name, though it is actually his middle name. This is composed in 1880, but at the bottom it does say on the copyright that it is W.L. Thompson there. So, another rather old one. The other interesting thing here is has some advertisements on the bottom of the second page of the piece for some of his other pieces. The one is the one I actually already played, the Peaches and Cream and Picnic. And there's also a Strawberries and Cream waltz. And there's a Plum Pudding waltz. So there's a lot of food related things. And then you throw in John Smith here too, so it's a little bit weird. Kind of a non sequitur to go from the food waltzes into John Smith. This is a march, not a waltz. So let's see what John Smith's waltz sounds like. So that's John Smith's March. So a lot of it was extremely reminiscent of a lot of other marches, has kind of a Jeremiah Clark fanfare, almost directly copied from him, who's a really older, much older classical British composer. And then the waltz section had kind of Johann Strauss Jr. kind of feel to it. So certainly, I would say derivative. And just because I was reading the news today, it reminds me of the Ed Sheeran trial, and it makes you think if this was around nowadays, maybe Lamartine could get sued by the estate of somebody else. But I think even though it is reminiscent and derivative, it's one of those things that, like, those are really common tropes for a march or a waltz. So nothing really out of the ordinary for it. When you go back to the idea that it's supposed to be a John Smith waltz, it really does not have that feel to me. You know, it seems more of a Americana, John Philip Sousa type sound. When you put it all together, it doesn't really make me think of Jamestown or John Smith by any means. So that is not the last piece in this booklet. It looks like there's one more, but it's by a different composer. So I'm going to save that one, I think, for later. And it's kind of interesting to me now that I look at that we had two pieces by the same composer, and then this last one's by somebody else. Kind of a weird way to group as sheet music. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. Talk to you later.